Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
As unbelievable as it sounds, this is another Arsenal podcast. That is the Away Gunners podcast. We bring news and reaction from Arsenal fans from all over the world. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Away Gunners podcast. You've got the gang back. Hi Deepak, hi Ellen, hi Arun.
Oh, hey guys.
Hi, guys.
So this week has been, we had one of the boringest game of all time, but the week has been really, really entertaining with all the Super League stuff and everything that's happening. So let's start with the Super League actually, just to get you guys idea, because we are different, right? We are not the match-going fans, or we are not like legacy fans, as they say, like who are following Arsenal because of your family or whatever.
Fans outside of the UK.
Yeah, so
The Away Gunners. And by the way, that's the name of the podcast, guys. The Away Gunners.
So he tied up that end right there. But
Yeah.
but what are your thoughts, Arun? Like, what are your thoughts on the Super League in the first place? And then we'll talk about it a little bit in detail. Like,
You said it perfectly. Like we being people who are away from the UK, who do not have really a stake in going to a game and watching it. If I really think from that perspective, I really didn't see. I was like very on the wall about it. I wasn't like able to lean to either side, whether it was good or not, because it does seem like eventually this is what is going to happen. The clubs are the ones that are the most powerful, are the ones that are leading the way, and it is very normal considering how corrupt UEFA has been. This was predicted by Wenger like over a decade ago. Like the visionary that he is, he predicted this 10 years ago. They're saying that this is definitely going to be happening because it's all tied to money-minded owners wanting instant success, right? So the way to go about getting instant success, as has been proven in the Premier League and the other leagues, has been investing money. And with the corrupt organization that UEFA is, and all the problems that these big so-called big teams that bring in all the revenue for each of the respective leagues and the Champions League as a whole, these clubs sort of in that direction seems for me to be like the next step in the evolution of franchise or club-based football, as we call it, the Americanization of the sport, if we could
I
say.
hate that word, like, because because I hate American sports. Let me put it that way, and because of the whole concept of the franchisee is what makes me hate the American sports. Like, it is not a sport for me. It is more of an entertainment, whatever
It
is
is,
happening in
yeah.
America, and
Yes,
that
that's
is where my whole problem with the Super League started.
because you're right. You're like in American sports, we don't really have the concept of like playing for your playing not to get relegated, or like avoiding relegation, or like playing for something that is more continental, or bringing about like more teams that play the same sport from a different part of the world. That those stakes are not there at all, which means that they're really playing for just like your playoff spots. And once you get to the playoff spots, it's a matter of like how well you play there. But
We lost that.
I think we lost
outside
Arun
of
over
that,
there.
you really incentives if you can actually you say,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm back.
Okay, yeah, you are.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of the incentives, it does not provide any real incentive or motivation for the teams as well as their players to actually fight for something. If you take hockey, like the sport that I follow more of the American sports, it's hockey and basketball. And if you take hockey, it's a Stanley Cup that everybody plays for. Outside, like and in a regular season, can you guys guess in a regular season in hockey how many games do teams play?
Probably like 50 games or something like that.
Any other guesses?
It's 100.
It's 82. In a regular season, a team plays 82 games. I'm just linking that here just to show that it's all based on the entertainment, like you put it, and the revenue that they generate. So out of the 82 games, your objective is just to get into your qualifying playoff qualifier spots in your division, right? So outside of that, it's all about the revenue that is being generated for each game. There is nothing else that is a higher motivation or an incentive to play. And the best part is you finish last, you get the first pick in the drafts. So there is actually more of an incentive for teams finishing last rather than first. And the Penguins actually, there's a team from Pittsburgh called Penguins, and they finished last, got Sidney Crosby, who's probably the best hockey player over the last decade, and they managed to win the league right after that. So this is the entire motivation in American sports, and this coming to football, I really don't see how it is going to work, because if each team is going to get 400 million to join, then that is just going to like increase your financial coffers and make you sort of like generate different teams. You're no longer restricted by a 25-man squad anymore. So if you think about all that, Americanization is the only word that comes to my mind. And beyond that, I just feel that that the motivation is going to like drop down if it does go on. But I think this is unavoidable. It is definitely going to happen. If not now, in the next 5 to 10 years, it is going to happen.
I don't think that is going to be the truth in my view, because the thing is the difference in what the American sport and what the rest of the world thinks as sport is completely different, and as in from a fan perspective. Right?
Because so let me contradict that with another example. Like, why are we saying this as Americanization? Because this is the way the world is behaving now. Take IPL. You don't have relegation. You have the same set of teams. No, you have the same set of teams. Here, instead of a draft, you have a different way of auction here. Just not only IPL, you take BBL, Big Bash League, all these leagues, or even the 100. None of them have relegation.
That's the difference, Ellen. So see, the difference is that all these leagues, whatever you're talking about, has been formed right now. Right? There are not many teams that can do that. Like, you cannot have a layered structure in IPL because it is completely dissociated from the domestic leagues, right? It has nothing to do with the domestic league. IPL is a completely standalone league, but football is not structured that way.
Wait. With IPL, right? Like when we started, like it was like a different beast. Now it's a different beast altogether. The reason is international matches are postponed. Take, for example, Shakib. There is a test match going on. He doesn't play for Bangladesh. He plays for IPL. That's a big revolution in cricket. Like, see, in cricket, like national games are more important than club games. But that is not happening now. Like IPL, Big Bash, like these kind of big money-making leagues, right? They get the player they want, even if that is an international fixtures. Like, see, with IPL, right? Like the ICC itself, like doesn't allocate any fixtures at that time. When they allocate it, like the big players, right? They are given guarantee that they'll play IPL over the national team. Like that is how like the allocation itself happens. And even like South Africa, if you take like when they are playing against Pakistan, some of the players they released immediately because they have to be in quarantine for IPL. It's not only that, like, so that's the way the world is going now in all the games. Like you take football in India, for example, ISL was brought in initially. Like people were saying like I League was the one that we have to follow. ISL had like its own opposites, but now ISL and I League are merged. So that's the way like the world will go.
Yeah, but the thing is, in all these things, right? The difference is that the fans are the difference, right? Like for football, the legacy fans, or even us, we could call us ourselves as one of the, like, not a new fan. We have been around at least for the best part of the last 2 decades, following Arsenal. So, and we have friends who have named their kids after Arsenals and like Arsenal players and all those things. We know that. So that is how much Arsenal has impact in us, right? It is not just because football is more than just a sport for a lot of us. And like Arun said, we are not from London. We are not from North London. We are not from anywhere around where we were not influenced by our families and stuff. But definitely, I'm sure that we are influencing some of our friends and families around us. So that's how football works. It's not the same with other sports, right? It's not the same with like if you're a CSK fan in IPL, you're going to be a CSK fan, and your family would be because you are in Chennai, right? But it will not be translated to extending that to others. Like all my friends over here, everyone knows that I'm an Arsenal fan. In Canada, everyone knows that I'm an Arsenal fan because I influence that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, if you take IPL and other things, like they have started, like say 10 years is not a big deal. Like say if you take Premier League clubs, they're like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So it will take its own time. Like say, that's what I'm saying. In cricket, like franchisee is like something like which is completely out of the thing. Like it's like not the normal. Like, that is what I'm trying to say. And within 10 years, we have seen like how much it has improved, or like how much like that has got priority over the other thing. Similar way, right?
From
like,
a player's perspective, yes.
No. That's what let me finish. Like, even from a fan's perspective, you just said that we are not from London. We are not going and seeing those matches. So we don't have any tradition associated with that, or we don't like know the old things. And the number of fans like us, right, is now increasing huge compared to the local fans. So how do they like make it better for fans like us, or how do they do it for bringing more fans like this?
No,
Leagues like this.
But
UEFA,
okay,
like,
so
League.
let me ask you this question. Okay, I have this dream of mine, right? Like, at least once in my life, I have to go to the Emirates Stadium. Doesn't matter whatever happens.
Hey, even
whatever
in
happens.
a Super League, right? No. Even in a Super League, you can go and visit a match in Emirates.
It is not about like me visiting Emirates, right? Whether Emirates would be the home for Arsenal.
No. Let me give you a perspective. When did Champions League start?
No, it started.
When did Europa League start?
Yeah, it's a couple of decades ago, right? It's just
before
rebranded.
That, no. Before that, like, there was a different name, right? Like,
European Cup. We had European Cup. Yes.
So the rebranding itself, right, was like affecting certain set of fans, because the old fans, like, they would have like preferred the other one, because that is the one like they were having it as tradition.
Rebranding is completely different from what they are doing with Super League, right? The
rebranding is not a problem. No, all of us, right? We started following Arsenal after Premier League was formed.
Yeah.
Right? And Premier League itself was like a mutiny kind of thing only. Because they wanted to get more revenue from TV, the Premier League was formed.
Yes.
If we accept Premier League, I don't see like anything wrong with the European Super League. See, the thing was,
the problem
they wanted.
The problem which I have is it's the exclusivity. Yeah. It's like all these 12 clubs can like play the Super League as long as they want, even though if they are underperforming in their own league, which doesn't make sense. Like, because there won't be any incentive for them to perform in the league when they know they are going to get 300 million. Like, not like they're going to join and they get a 300 million. And when they know that they're going to like finish 10th and still they go and play Super Leagues and get the revenue from that. So they won't perform well in the league. So the league is the one which is going to happen for like 38 games.
See, as like Arun put it, right, like the number of games are going to increase. Like, see, no one said like they are not going to participate in UEFA, or like they are going to
participate. What Deepak said is true. They are going to participate. But is it going to work? Is it going to be work?
No. That is what I'm saying. No, right? That is what I'm going to say. Yeah. No, let me put it. Like, say, you think it from a business perspective. These 15 clubs which are going to play there, right? Like, if say UEFA, the local clubs all ban them, and like they're not going to play, like, say, for 10 years or kind of thing, then like what is the revenue like guarantee for them? See, that is why, like, say, even if you take IPL or any of the things, right, like when they started new, like the franchisees, right, were given like they'll get minimum revenue like this, and there won't be like they'll be playing for at least this much period. Because when you start a league like this, right, like where like there are chances for like a lot of impact, this is how it will always start. It will not start like relegation and like, say, down the line, all of this will happen. Whatever you are saying, right? Like, say, this is more like guarantee for the initial set of clubs that like whatever happens, we are there to support you. See, I'm not saying that is right or wrong, but I'm saying from a business perspective, that is what they have done.
See, that's the point, right? That's the point that I have concern over. I'll come to Deepak on this one because he brought up that point. But before that, right, that's the point that I have concern about. Why I bring fans into the whole discussion is these clubs, or wherever these clubs are, like for now, Arsenal are not a big elite club. But why we are considered that? Because we have the fan base. Every match of ours is viewed much more than any other club. Every discussion
that we managed to generate.
Yeah, we generate a lot of revenue, and that did not build on one day. That did not build on Stan Kroenke taking over Arsenal. It started when Arsenal started, right? And there is a huge history to where we are right now for us to get here, right? And by disregarding this history is what makes me mad about this league, right? We are disregarding everything that has brought you here, but you are saying that since we are here, we get this, right?
No, let me put it. Let me put it like before we
Ellen,
go to Deepak.
I'll come back to you. Let me hear from Deepak first because he's been quiet for so long.
Okay.
So the thing is like, I don't have a problem if this league is based on merit. I have no issues like if they like do like that, but they said all these 12 teams can play as long as in this league, as long as they want, which shouldn't be the case. Plus, if they play this league, they generate more revenue. Already there is a gap between let's say top 8 and the rest of the league, and getting more money from this league just for these 12 teams, it would widen the gap even further. And we won't be seeing any let's say something like Leicester season or anything. It would be like always these 6 or 12 teams like doing something. I'm okay with the idea. I'm always happy to see like Arsenal play Real Madrid or anything, but Arsenal should be like merited enough to go into this league and play. That's what I have an issue with. I can understand from the perspective of the owners why they wanted to do this, because these are the 6 teams which generate the most revenue in EPL, and they don't want the money to be shared with the other teams, which I completely understand.
But which is unfair, right? That is my point. Which is unfair.
How do you think it is unfair?
Because
these are the teams like who are generating the most of the revenue.
See, but still,
let's say like you like
no, we are here, but the thing is like we are here because of all these teams, right? We did not come like Leeds and United had such a big rivalry that pushed United to become better, right? And now United are better than Leeds doesn't mean that Leeds didn't play a part in how United.
So that is life. You always you get left behind.
Yeah,
if you're not good enough, you obviously get left behind.
But that is what the problem is, right? Like all these clubs were not.
That life is completely unfair.
No. The thing is, life is completely unfair. But these clubs are not formed by these owners, right? Like IPL are like Big Bash. Those are formed by them, so they have the say to they have the ability to say it, right? They have the right to say that.
What's the meaning of owner means? They own the club.
But the thing is, it's not. So that's the part where I have the confusion, right? It is about like whether owner means that they own everything about the club, which means they are excluding the whole part of the history of the club.
You are not saying them as like joint board members or anything. You are calling them as owners. And who sold it to those owners? People who are part of those traditions. Like say, if they find that tradition will be lost, why do they sell to those owners?
No, but
regarding your point of sharing revenue, let me give an example. You are in an organization, you do a lot of work. If you are not getting promoted or you're not getting salary hike, like will you be like working in that organization? Don't just get. No, I'll just say like the organization has like 1 lakh employees, and because of that only they got the contract, and that is only like because of that only like I got a chance to prove my things. Like I won't accept that. If I'm doing well, I should be rewarded for that. Like say, yes,
but that is
little bit of things can be shared, but like if you're going for an even share and all those kind of things, right? Like see, let you take a championship to Premier League example itself. A team gets 172 million just because of all these TV revenues and other things. And who brought those things? Like the team that is coming from championship is not like generating those revenue.
No, let me put it this way then, right? Like right now, Arsenal could be put into an elite status because of the history that we had, or not the history.
It's because of the revenue.
Yeah, even of the revenue. Revenue is generated because there are so many fans, and so many fans are there because of our history, right? But if this, whatever Arsenal is in right now, continues for next 10 years, let's just say for the next 10 years, and then what happens? Arsenal becomes a mid-table club. Do you think we'll have so much revenue generated? No, we will definitely not be. So
obviously you get left behind.
Yeah, you should. So there is no way. So there is no way you could confirm that these elite clubs are going to stay elite, and that the clubs that are not elite are going to stay like that way, right? There could be tables turned. There could be tables like even now AC Milan is out of the picture, but they are considered an elite club. Napoli is much ahead of AC Milan. But if you give like 2 years, AC Milan will not have these many fans. Napoli will have more fans. Napoli will generate more revenue. So
See,
this is
let me
not
put
this
it
is
the
not
other
like
way.
revenue would not be a model in which a club eligibility could be determined, because revenue and
No.
eliteness
See,
cannot be the
again,
model, Ellen.
no.
Way.
Again, I'm saying, let's see, you are taking, let's see, every generation or every new things, right, has come because of something like this only. If you take again cricket as an example, your ODI cricket or your 2020, everything, right, came because of like such kind of things. Kerry Packer brought all the big players into his private tournament, and because of that, the national teams got affected, and that's how ODI cricket came into picture after an agreement with Kerry Packer. And 2020 again came the same way. See, because of India's victory in the World Cup, like it got boomed like this. I won't deny that.
See, again, the thing is, right, like what I'm saying is different, is that it is not about starting a new league. It is about how the league is designed.
No. That is what I'm saying. No, that is what
money
I'm saying.
Money or fame cannot define validity
again,
or eligibility criteria for a club.
Whatever you are saying, right? See, again, I'm saying, right? Like, say, you to start a league or to do a lot of things, right? You need investment. See, if you are going to bring a West Brom, right? Like, which sponsor is going to come and like sponsor a huge for that? If you're going to bring another club, when you are starting, I'm again repeating, when you are starting, you need those big clubs.
But why are we starting a new league when we have UEFA?
See, because
Champions
UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League, what are they doing? They said FFP. What did they do for FFP? It's like 10 years. They haven't done anything for FFP.
That's the problem.
Taking the revenue.
I have the same concern with
revenue from.
I have the same concern with vegans when I'm a vegetarian, but I have the same concern with vegans, right? When people say like, oh, animals are getting mistreated, so we should start eating meat, right? I'll say, if there is a house that is leaking, fix the damn house, not leave the damn house. And that is what I'm saying. If UEFA and Europa League or FIFA is corrupt, fix the corruption, not form something else that is going to create a lot more issues.
How can you stop
who do you think has to fix the corruption? Sorry, Ellen. Who do you think has to fix the corruption?
Go ahead.
No, the clubs have to band together. If these clubs, these 12
that's what
clubs,
they're doing. That's what they're doing. They are banding together and they're coming out.
No, they are banding together and breaking away, not fixing the issue. They are abandoning the house, not fixing the house.
No, but the thing is, like, you're talking about the house can be fixed by the owner of the house, which is UEFA, not by the clubs who are like renters. You're asking the renters to fix shit when the owner should be doing things. The renters don't have to fix anything. They're just renting the house. It's the owner who has to fix stuff.
Yeah, but the renters renters are the ones who are living there. They could band together
they have a better option to move, and that's why they're moving. That's why they're renters.
But that's the thing, right? It's not a better option. That's my concern, right? There is no validity to the option that they're bringing.
For us as fans, you're right. It's not a better option for us as fans. It's not a better option for football as a whole, but it's a better option for the clubs. And ultimately, that's what they're going to be looking out for, which would
it is a better option.
Cycle, which would.
It is a better option only for the owners.
Yes, and they own the club, and they are the ones who are going to inject the money into the club.
Do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I
understand your point, Picasso. I totally understand your point in terms of the passion and the football. But like I said, I think this is inevitable. It is going to happen. The same talks are going to probably start again within the next 5 years. Things will cool down. It is like watching Indian politics. A new thing comes up, people forget the old thing. The same thing. So this guy is the same ESL topic is going to come up, I'm pretty sure, within the next 3 to 5 years. And then they'll start proceedings again. Maybe by the next 5 to 10 years, we'll actually see the ESL in place.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, why did we sell to like Stan Kroenke? Because we thought he would like invest money and we would get better.
Yeah.
So he has every right to do whatever he thinks, that he thinks this investment coming from ESL would make us even more better, but which is not the case.
I don't the next level.
I don't think it is. I mean, I don't think, at least from Kroenke's point of view, he's not thinking about the club. I mean, absolutely no way.
No one thinks about the club because he invested this much amount of money and he expects profit from it. You cannot blame him and say that you invested money, keep on investing, and you still finish 10th. What do you expect from him?
I don't think he cares about whether we are finishing in 10th as long as we give him a lot of money.
If you finish in 10th, we lose like all the revenue. So that's why he moved to ESL, because he's guaranteed 300 million.
Plus, what this will do, when I thought about it, actually, the most negative aspect that I could think of was the fact that it would destroy clubs outside of those 15. Just in a simple situation where when you have 400 million, you have 15 clubs with 400 million each. And in that situation, if we are going to keep going, then what would happen is like they're going to just continue poaching all the players from clubs like Everton, Leicester, and all that, which would leave them with a much depleted squad. In that sense, those are the ones, not us, not the fans, not the football.
No, I think even as a fans, we would be like away as we brand ourselves as away Gunners, we will not be impacted much because we are not the.
Yeah, we won't.
If Arsenal plays in LA, we would still watch Arsenal. Right?
Yeah,
but
it'll bring it closer to us. There's an opportunity.
I will happily go to
so we would still watch Arsenal, but is it the Arsenal that we are watching? Is my point, right? I don't think when Arsenal moves to LA, it'll be the Arsenal that we are watching.
No,
we are watching a franchise.
When Arsenal moved to Emirates, did you feel anything?
No, I did, because it's called Emirates Stadium, fucking Emirates Stadium. The other stadium is called Etihad Stadium. What has that got to do with anything of North London?
Emirates, no. Emirates, like, leave the naming of the stadium. That's a different thing. You moved from Ivory, which had like all our tradition.
Yeah.
You have won everything there.
But it is still there in North London. We are called a North London club. Can you move CSK to can you move CSK to Dubai and then call it CSK and you would still
CSK, let me say.
We watched last year's IPL every single match with CSK.
No. CSK for a long period are playing outside Chennai because of various political reasons, and still fans go to those places, watch it. Local fans support CSK. All those happens.
Yeah, but that is
CSK, like Pune has, like not Pune, like where is Dhoni's place, like in Jharkhand, right?
Jharkhand.
There, like Pune, like CSK played their own games. This season, if you see, right, they play at least like there is no fans. But there was a period like where Chennai government didn't allow, and they had played in Pune, and Pune was like supporting CSK like anything. So like even here, right, the clubs, right, like beyond their plays and everything. Because of players, like how we are attracted to players and started following various club football, those things happen from here also. I know people who are following Big Bash from here.
Yeah.
So things like, see, because football is like 100 years old, like in this club for culture for a longer period, like you are like seeing like all those things like immediately, whereas like cricket has just started and it will take its own time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense from a business model, right? I mean, I'm not against the business model of it. The problem for me is that we have trouble with UEFA and FIFA, that they are corrupt, mostly because of the money and all those things, all financial reasons and stuff. And then we are starting a league that is purely started because they want more money. And then how are we not? I mean, I'm very suspicious of the whole concept that a league that is started with money as its motive would be fair, or anything, anything that would be competitive or anything. But anyways, it is. I mean, Deepak, go ahead. I think you had something.
I think they just started this drama to get like more money from UEFA. They achieved.
So they have done in the past too.
But Papa Perez is still thinking that it's going to happen. Papa Perez has come out yesterday, said that
they can easily do that. Like, see, they are like they are the 12 or 15 clubs which are the most powerful clubs in the world in terms of revenue and fans. If they can do this, if they let's say they want money in like 10 years, they will like do the same drama after 10 years, and UEFA will give them more. This is good. This would be like an endless cycle.
That is true, but then for me the worst thing was when people were praising Chelsea and Gary Neville and Sky Sports and BT Sports like they are saviors of the whole game. I was going like, see, I am against the whole concept of this from the point of where it is Americanizing it, and I hate that concept. Like
See,
it is an
the
entertainment
one best
system.
thing about the Americanized thing is they give like the draft pick. That is the best concept I have seen in America. If you
Yeah.
play bad, you would get the best player.
Yeah, but again, like, and all these things happened, and then suddenly
See,
skies.
that gives you like level playing field almost. Like if you're bad in one season, they like try to give you the like the best player so that it gets the playing field as level. But in this case, UEFA didn't stop Chelsea, UEFA didn't stop PSG. Now I don't know why they are shouting when everyone wants to make money.
No, that's because they are losing money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's the only thing. See, because before we close this, right, my final comments, I won't talk beyond this. Like, see, I know there are impacts for other clubs, which I will not deny, because that was the only bad thing I was also feeling, like, because various reasons. One is like, even if you take FFP, this will consider as a revenue, and they can invest on the players without getting impacted by FFP, and these clubs will become monopoly in their leagues. I agree on that. But regarding like whether this will not have any like develop other things, like this will definitely develop. Like you take ISL for an example, like it has developed our I-League. I-League was like at a very bad stage at that time. Now they are merged. Even if you take IPL, right, like it was completely started with money minded as like a franchise league separately. You know how much revenue that it has got back to our BCCI, like, and like we have like more teams like Pondicherry, everything added after that in our domestic, like on our domestic, right, has its own separate 2020 trophy, Syed Mustaq Ali tournament. And like every year, right, like these revenues, right, help like the standard of those state associations also, because they get some share. See,
yeah,
it will,
because it is linked to everything, right? That is the thing. It is linked to everything. It is still a BCCI product. IPL when it started was a BCCI product.
No, BCCI when it started, it had separate people, separate revenue models.
But still it is a BCCI product.
No, it is like arguing like Stan, even if he gets his money, he will invest in Premier League, because both are like tournaments which Arsenal plays and Stan is the owner. It's not that way. Like BCCI has its own problem like with IPL money, because the franchisees want that money back. That is why they were investing in crores. So that's a different model. Down the line, right, like when the owners have got some amount of money and everything, things will change. Because at that time, right, like the competitiveness and everything will go off. Like as you rightly said, if Arsenal is going to completely struggle there, right, like Arsenal will not be like a top club there. The revenues of Arsenal will drop off, and that the European Super League will not allow. So they will either, like as Deepak said, right, they'll try to go for a draft way, or they'll try to do some other way, bring in like some relegation and other things. All those will happen down the line. Like, but when you expect something to start, right, this is more like one-off games which like clubs play, like say you in USA, right, to develop cricket there, like teams go and play like 2-3 games there. It is just for revenue purpose, like the Stanford 2020.
I get
which was like a pioneer.
See, I get it, Ellen. I get the whole concept of it could develop into something. But my concern is that it is not like other sports. Football has a developed structure already, and we could fix that structure if that structure is broken. If there is issues there, let us fix that. Instead of, IPL started, and then the lower leagues or regional leagues or whatever leagues develop.
No,
right?
It's not. It's the other way around.
Okay.
Syed Mustaq Ali tournament was the first tournament 2020 in India. If we hadn't won the 2007 World Cup, right, like IPL wouldn't have even started in India.
So that's what I'm saying. So the football already has something, and it has something that is very unique. That is very unique to other sports, especially to say cricket or any of the American sports, especially to the American sports. That is the fans. The fans.
No. Let me put it in a different way. I have an argument that, like, if you're going in that way, like, say, who makes the laws and rules for football?
No, there's no laws and rules. There is no big laws and rules.
We have, like, see, if you say something like VAR needs to be introduced, who gives those rules?
No, that's FA or FIFA, right? Yeah.
FIFA. And if FIFA is corrupt, how can you change that? Because they are the one who are going to make the rules. They are the one who are going to make it. If you take cricket for that example, where you say it's not like it's actually better structured, because ICC is the running body, or they will do all the things, but the laws are not made by ICC, they are made by MCC.
Okay.
there are two different things, and MCC doesn't get like into any of these revenues or anything. They are like a different organization altogether with little revenue compared to an ICC. Okay. So there is something to control ICC if ICC is wrong. Whereas in football, right, like there you can fix it much more easier. Whereas in football, right, like the clubs or the like European associations or all these associations which make the rules, they are the corrupt ones. So you cannot like change these clubs unless like you do some rival things or unless like you go against them. It has to be a fight. See, the way these European Super League structured as issues, I won't deny that. But that was, my point is like that was mainly because to give some stability to the people who are going as rival. Down the line, definitely that will change because like then that model also will fail. See, finally they are doing it for revenue. If they're not
see again,
revenue,
it is
right?
This is all Ellen. So let us stop the discussion because we have been going on it for a really long time. But this is all for me. The problem is that intent. It is not just about revenue. A club is not just built on revenue, and the revenue is not just built by the owners or whatever, right? It is built by the fans. It is built by every person who has bought a jersey. When a year of COVID, there is nothing to do. There is nothing that you could wear that jersey to go. There is no games that you could go and watch. There is no way you could go to a pub and watch the game together, which is the way, or which is what a fan wants. Right? A fan wants to watch a game to be part of the game, right? He is funding the club in some way, right? He is contributing to the club. Like why are we called Gunners? Because we are formed by the bullet, whatever, the artillery factory that they had in Woolwich, right? Why are they called Saints? Because they were formed by the local community. Right, all these clubs, we as away fans don't understand the cultural aspect to it.
The thing is, you're talking about us. They're like thinking about the future generation. Let's say we don't improve at all, like going down the line. We don't improve for 10, 20 years without any influx of money into the club. We won't gain new fans.
I don't think that is true. Yes. I don't think that is true. Or else Arsenal wouldn't grow this much, right? If we are not gaining new fans, like even an example for me, right? I have a friend.
Nowadays, if you come in, everyone wants to be a fan of either Chelsea or Manchester City or Real Madrid. Why we became fan of Arsenal? Because we were winning cups and we were doing well.
Yes.
And we liked the way we played. Yes. So now the best team is either Chelsea or City when you take England. Yeah. So they are the ones who are gaining more fans.
Yes.
If we are stuck in this mud, we won't get any new fans. So that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to give more exposure.
See, but the thing is, like, Arsenal will not gain more fans, but Leicester has fans. City has more fans, right? As a football, the game gets more fans. The game is not in a rut. The team is in a rut. If you want to develop the team. No, you don't have to develop
They wanted the extra revenue.
See, but the thing is, you are killing the game to develop the team, right? Don't make it an entertainment to develop the team. If the Super League if the Super League was attached to, say, the Premier League, if the Super League was attached to, say, if the problem is, if
there is no guarantee that they are saying there will be no relegation going forward. This is for just first 2 seasons.
No, even then I'm saying, the thing is, even this state, what I'm saying is, it has to be, even at this state, if you are not, like, what is the basis of the Super League formation? That is the problem, right? It is based on revenue that these teams generate. That is the problem. If you say, if I
always based on the revenue.
See, if the league was formed in such a way that, okay, we'll take the top teams from each league and we'll form this league, right? We'll take the top teams from each league and we'll form this league. Then that would be better. Then I wouldn't have this trouble.
No, what is the difference between
no one would see the Super League? Do you think?
See, it is again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Deepak. Go ahead. You finish.
Right now, if you take the top 4, there is West Ham. Do you think West Ham has like a bigger global fan base than Arsenal?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so obviously they don't want West Ham in there with the Super League.
See, that is the problem I'm saying, right? It is not in the sports mentality that this league is formed. Like, West Ham might not have the same fan base as, like, Manchester City didn't have a fan base as big as Arsenal. But Manchester City has
Yeah,
a fan
again,
base that is
no,
bigger
no,
than
no.
that
Again,
as
I'm
big as
saying,
Arsenal now. Chelsea
no,
didn't
that
have
is what.
biggest. It takes time. For
No, that
but
is what like Deepak is trying to make you realize. Like, why did Manchester City has fans? They didn't have big history, but like the fans who are all part of Manchester City now, they're all away fans, not local fans. Why did they get those many fans? It is only because the Arab guy like put his own money, made it like so, and like see if Arsenal needs to put those money to get huge fans in the future, how can they do it? Like they need money.
see
If
again,
they're going to go, no. Let
Ellen,
me
I'm
finish
saying,
it.
see, Ellen,
No, let me finish it. Let me finish it,
I
and
get.
then like I'm
No,
asking you a few basic questions.
See,
I'm
the thing
asking
is,
you a few
I
basic
understand.
questions.
I understand the business prospects of it, right? I'm not
No, I'm not
contesting.
saying.
I'm not
No,
contesting the
I'm
business prospects of it. I'm just contesting the whole idea that the whole
no,
league is
no.
based on a
The
business prospect.
definition. No. That is what I'm trying to
That
say.
is the problem for me.
No. The
Which is
problem, whatever
taking
you're
out.
saying, right?
Mhm.
The problem, whatever you're saying, right? Like if that was the problem, we would not have been fans of Arsenal now. Arsenal had its own like Woolwich name. Why
Yeah.
did it become Arsenal? When you changed it to Arsenal, you destroy the tradition of Woolwich.
Yeah.
How many new fans of Arsenal knows about Woolwich? No.
No, not many.
So you have destroyed tradition to grow, and that is what is happening now.
See, that is the thing I'm saying, right? Like it is not about tradition, or it is not about how we are or whatever we are, right? It is not preserving what we are having. I'm not questioning whether we will go if we get this money. No, that is not the question I'm having. The question is, what are we aiming for, right? Like what is the aim in this, or what is the goal in this? And the goal in this for me is money, and that is not
let
something.
Let me answer you. You are saying that I need this player. You are saying I need this player so that my club will play better. As a fan, we expect that, right?
Yes.
And if a owner has to buy 4 players, he has to spend 300 million. If he doesn't going to get that 300 million, who will spend that money? Okay. And whatever fan needs, if the owner has to do that, right, he needs revenue. And we cannot just like that say like revenue can be like discarded. Like, and UEFA is not giving them a revenue. UEFA is not giving them the revenue. Premier League is not giving them the revenue which they deserve, because they are the people who are bringing it. Like say you can put it like how much ever you bring it, like accordingly the share will be given. Like people will be okay. See, it is not like Premier League was not like Real Madrid or like the Spanish league where Real Madrid and Barcelona were getting huge, all others were getting less. Every team was getting something. These clubs were getting little bit more. Now they have made it as level playing field. And like, if you're going to say like for developing the local clubs, you should not do it like by degrading, like say a City or Arsenal or United to their level. You have to like find other ways. Like you are saying like, I will not allow you to spend. I will not allow you to like get money, even though you are generating the money. If they're not generating, that's a different thing. They are generating the money. They are not allowed to do things. So definitely a rival league will form. And like those times, right, they will not see about the other clubs, because other clubs doesn't worry now when these clubs are losing their money. See for a club like say Aston Villa or this thing, they're not coming and saying that why are you giving the United money to us? Why are you giving Arsenal money to us? Because they are the one getting the money. So how can they come and question when they are planning to get some money? Like you should not get money.
See, the thing is, it is not about. I am not questioning about the money part of it. Right, I'm not questioning about.
I'm saying about the passion part. To continue the passion part of fan,
from
you need money.
No, that's what I'm saying. Where is the money that we are spending going to? Are we getting anything like back? Do you think we are spending less than like the fans that with this global audience we are spending lesser than any other team? Like Aston Villa spent a lot of money this season compared to Arsenal. Did Aston Villa make that much money last season to spend? No, they didn't.
Yes. From the Premier League, see, like you take like big clubs, the revenues from the sponsors and everything was affected. Whereas for clubs like Aston Villa, who was like little money from sponsors, the main money comes from the Premier League TV shares and other things. Okay. They still get like equal money.
Yeah, but okay, let's say even Aston Villa got like 100 million last year. Okay, let's say Aston Villa got 100 million. Did Arsenal get less than 100 million last year?
See, Arsenal
there is no way we got.
No.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, how does it matter? When I generate 500 million, I'm given just 100 million. If I'm playing alone, I get that 500 million to myself.
See, the thing is like that is the question that I'm having, right? Like the question is where we are heading, right? If we are heading only for the money as a club, if we are heading like we want our club to be top, right?
No,
we want our club to be top. Doesn't mean that we will kill anyone to become the top. That is the thing. It is all about intentions.
No, let me put it in another way. Is it okay if Arsenal club gets closed in another 25 years? Are you okay for that?
No, we are definitely not going to be
how,
okay
it,
for that.
how it will happen? See, if there is no revenue, and if the club is going to perform, not go to championship, you are going to lose even more fans.
Why is it called no revenue? I don't understand why we are calling Arsenal as no revenue. Arsenal is one of the major revenue building club.
That is because like all the people who are part of Ivory, who are part of the older tradition, are still fans. The newer generation of fans are not Arsenal fans.
Yes, they are.
Like say 25 years. No,
we will not have this much Instagram influence. We would not have this much Twitter influence with just the Ivory crowd.
No,
we would not have that.
No,
we have new fans.
We are not talking about like 50 years.
2000 kids.
We are saying like 10-year-old kid. A 10-year-old
2000, like see, 2000.
I have my own neighbor people. I have my own personal experiences where there are 16-year-old kids who have become Arsenal fans.
See, again,
right? It is still there.
It's like 2004, 2005, where we won Invincibles. See, 2010 afterwards, right? Like Arsenal is not a big club. Like see, till that, right? Like we had people like who will follow Arsenal.
Okay, so
after that, right?
So let me put it this way. Okay, let me put it this way then. After 2010, did Aston Villa made new fans? They would have made new fans this year, maybe. But do you think after 2010, Aston Villa made new fans? Wolves made new fans? Or Leicester after they won the trophy would have made new fans?
No.
Before that, how did they make?
No, just give a big example. Just give a big, like easy example. Take Newcastle. Okay. Newcastle still has huge fans base.
Yes.
How much they are struggling with revenue and everything.
Yes, that is because the way the club was run. Because the club didn't win anything. The club didn't win anything.
That is what I'm saying. See, if you want to win against City, Chelsea, if you want to win against City, Chelsea, you need money. And you say money should be taken out. Like finally, you lose fans. See, even from a fan's perspective, you need money for the club to sustain. It's again, you are saying, like say, club has its own expenditures. Even to maintain that, they need money. Like say, you are saying, I'm a fan. You are going and watching a match at the ground. If the stadium is not good, you are not going there. To maintain the stadium, they need money. Again, everything they need money.
See, the thing is, like the thing is, you're talking about the financial from the owner's perspective. I'm talking. There are other clubs like Southampton is there. There is West Brom there. There are clubs that are not to the level of Arsenal that are still playing. Leicester was never to our level. Leicester is now beyond us.
See, Leicester
is now beyond us. How did they make that? How did Manchester? I mean, Manchester City had influence of money, but I'm just saying, like you're taking Manchester City and Chelsea as an example and saying this is how it is. But that is not how things are. Like now, PSG is not winning the league in French league. Now PSG is not leading the pack. Now Juventus is not leading the pack there. So there are other ways a club could develop, and there have been chances that
how the clubs are developing. They are developing from the money which Juventus made. They are developing from the money which Arsenal made.
Yes.
See, Arsenal made 300 million, and they are getting 100 million.
Okay.
100 million is used to run Arsenal, to maintain like a club like Arsenal.
Okay.
You don't like need 100 million to run a club like Leicester. So it's a profit for them. They invest that profit to get better. This is like basic economics.
And let me put it this way. Then when Leicester becomes better, suppose we go like Ellen is saying, we go beyond, like we are not playing well, we go beyond and stuff like that. Then Leicester is going to make the money. There is going to be someone who is going to make that money. There is going to be some club that is going to make the money, and we are going to get it again.
It will take almost like 20 years.
Yes, it is going to take.
Arsenal don't want to go there. That's why they are joining the ESL.
See, it took those clubs that many years for them to come up. That is what I'm saying. They had that struggle to come up, and then now you are saying that just because we did that before you, we are going somewhere else.
Yes, obviously everyone has to do that. See, if you want to develop, you have to like put down some. That is how it works. You cannot be like morally like good person and expect us to grow even further. It is not happening in the current world.
Bayern Munich
even if you take Arsenal,
Bayern Munich is doing sustainably. Bayern Munich poaches every single club in Bundesliga. That's how they are sustaining themselves.
No. Whatever Picasso was saying, right? Then I think we should not be fans of Arsenal because Arsenal did the same thing to the lower clubs in the 2000s. We were playing like say 3 million, 4 million for a player, which at that time, right, was equivalent to spending like to 100, 200 million now. And like those clubs didn't even, like now at least they have the TV revenue share, which makes it a level playing field. At the time, like the other clubs will not be spending even like say 100K, and we were spending in like millions, and like we were like monopoly at that time. Like so, when we accept those things, right?
No, I'm not accepting those things. We moved past those things. We have corrected those mistakes. And what I'm saying is, we are going.
We don't have the money right now.
Money, that's why it got corrected.
No, somehow it got corrected, right? We did correct some of it, and some like we were. Wenger was fighting for FFP for so long. We spent within our within our limit for so long. We have played under the FFP for so long. Right?
See, it is happening only because like Stan Kroenke is not spending the money. If he is spending money like Chelsea, we will be happy and we won't be talking anything about morally good and something like that. That is the truth, to be honest.
Because Arsenal in the past also have like not taken care of fans. Like see, when we moved from Woolwich or when we moved from Ivory or any other things, or like Arsenal haven't taken care about fans. We are the only ones saying that Arsenal cares about fans. That is not true.
See, if we truly cared about fans, we would have stayed in Highbury. Why did we even move to Emirates? We moved to Emirates to make money. It's simple. So right now they want to make more money by moving to ESL. That is the concept. See, if you want to grow, you want more money. See, if you didn't want it to grow, you would have stayed in Highbury with the small amount of ticket revenue. We wanted more money. So that's why we built a bigger stadium.
Of course, we want more money, but at what cost is my question.
That's what they
see.
Are
at what cost is my question, right? We want more money, but at what cost? Like when you say Manchester City put in money, or when Chelsea, like it's the same question, right? When Qatari World Cup is happening, we want to watch the World Cup, but at what cost, right? Like that is the same question.
Yeah, that is what happening. Like, see, the clubs, they wanted money.
There is some point where we should be making a progress in any ground, like in a moral ground, in a sports ground, or any way, we should be making progress. Just because something happened before, just because something wrong happened before and we accepted it before, doesn't mean that we don't have the ability to correct that. Right?
Okay.
Right now, I would say let us correct it. If there is a wrong
question. No, Leicester and other clubs, right? Like, or the whatever clubs you are saying, don't they have like moral thing, like somebody's revenue I'm eating?
It is not
somebody's revenue I'm eating.
See, I cannot question other clubs, right? I can question my club because this is my club. I am following Arsenal. I am following Arsenal. I am contributing to Arsenal.
No, are you saying that our club should be a charity club? We are then like how can we accept when we make 300 million revenue? And we get only 100 million out of that. 200 million is given for charity to other clubs. How can we accept that?
No, we shouldn't.
If we question that, right? Like you are saying that, like we are not morally like helping the other teams.
No, I'm not saying we are morally not helping the other teams.
No. See, these clubs, right? European Super League was formed not because like they want additional revenue or anything. They wanted their revenue to be intact to run their clubs. And their revenue is not given by any of these. Like say, if UEFA has given their proper revenue or Premier League has given their proper revenue, these clubs will not think about European Super League because they have got money. They are not going for bonus money or additional money. They are saying like they cannot sustain their club because their revenues are affected.
What have they done to question that about FIFA or UEFA? Like why?
They are questioning. UEFA is fighting.
No. They wanted this UEFA, so they started ESL.
No, see, they fought with UEFA.
If that is the intention, if they are not going to start the ESL and they have started this just in case to get UEFA money, I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Bullying
you are
UEFA
saying, right,
is not a problem for me.
UEFA.
But the problem is if they are very serious about starting the league, that is the problem.
That is what I'm saying. No, that is what I'm saying, Picasso. Like you said, they want to correct UEFA, right? They want to correct UEFA. The European Super League idea was not something that is said now. It was said like even 10 years before, or like even before that. Like they were like saying this fighting with UEFA for a longer period. See, this cannot be formed like just within a year or something. See, COVID accelerated it because of the huge loss all these clubs faced. That is the only difference. Other than that, like this fight with UEFA is going on for a long period. UEFA always think that these clubs will say they won't do anything. and that is the reason why they are like still behaving the same way. And now because of this, right, like UEFA will have like its own impact. Like if they don't improve or this thing, like the European Super League is inevitable. They have that fear now. Like at least like some of these clubs, right, will get more benefits from UEFA going forward.
See, if that is the case, I am happy. Like Deepak saying, if this is just a scare tactics for UFA, I'm okay with that. Right? If they are planning to say like, oh, we are leaving, you give us the money and UFA gives us the money, I'm happy with that. But the whole concept of the league and the whole idea of the league is what I'm worried about, right? Like the idea of how the league is formed,
no, it will happen is what
is happening, the entertaining factor instead of the sporting factor. I don't want Shakira to come and dance at halftime. I don't want that. I don't want us to stop the game every 10-15 minutes to have like, oh, you have played for like 23 seconds. Now the other team gets the ball. I don't want that to happen to my sport. My sport, I want it to flow for 45 minutes. I want that to happen. I don't want in the like in the halftime Shakira and J-Lo coming over and dancing and that being the point of the game. I don't want that to happen. Right? These are the things that I'm worried about. I don't want Arsenal to move to LA and suddenly be like, oh yeah, we could, that is our home ground now. I don't want that to happen. These are the things that I'm worried about. I'm not worried about if it is just a scare tactics for UFA, like Deepak is saying. I'm very happy. We get more money. UFA get bullied. UFA gets into a line. I'm happy. We are putting UFA on a spot. Yes, I'm happy. Right? That I'm not contesting that part.
So we will close this. This was
yeah. Anyways, but I wanted to actually, yeah. Anyways, they've pulled out of this and everything, right? But Deepak, I want to get back to you on something. Mourinho sacking.
Yeah. So it proves no one can win.
Absolutely no one can make Spurs better. That is what is the whole point.
No, the thing with Mourinho is like they propagated it as like he got sacked because he was against Super League.
We are not falling for that. We are in no way falling for that. Mourinho sack was so happy for me. Like, but the only thing is because of all these Super League discussions, like people forgot that he got sacked, and now it's too late. And they also won another game, so people have forgotten that.
Hope they don't win the League Cup.
No, they will not. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, hoping for.
Pep will not. Pep has really good, for the Carabao Cup, he has a good record. He always takes.
He has lost only to Mourinho. He has lost only to Mourinho in that. So, like with no Mourinho, he is Spurs won't win. I was worried only about that, like Spurs winning a trophy because of that.
No,
I'm confident they won't win anything.
I was so happy when I saw that Mourinho sack. I was thinking about you and Shahir. So I was going like, yes. And also we have a game coming up this week with Everton. So because we basically ran through the whole thing without even mentioning the European Europa League, the second leg, 4-0 victory. Just a quick one-line answer.
Yeah, it was like a really good away performance. Like in this season, we always seems to step up when we are against the wall. That has been happening a lot. So even against Villarreal, we like, let's say like we lose or draw the first game. That would be like a better sign. If we would like definitely screw up the second leg.
Yeah, Ellen, what are your thoughts on the Europa League second leg? It was a good game.
Two things. Yeah, like it was I was expecting a victory, but I was not expecting like such a comfortable victory, to be honest.
You gave a 2-1. You gave a 2-1 as your scoreline.
Yeah, that's what I was not expecting, a comfortable victory. But like one other thing which I liked about it was like, see, the other club, right? They were not like helping for racism. Like they were like,
oh yeah,
and like all our goal scorers, right? Like at the beginning, like they were all like not white. So that was a good statement, and like you could see Lacazette wanted to like say when. I was like watching the match and they were like waiting for the UEFA anthem. Like I was like, this game Lacazette is going to play well because I could see that in his eyes. That kind of emotion.
Very resolved.
Very
he was very resolved. Yes.
And that was like something like I was happy about. Like it was a statement in all ways, like in that match.
I'm still laughing at like Mourinho being sacked. But anyways, we have the game coming up against Everton over the weekend. Ellen, I'll start with you because we are so close, and especially people who are going all this. Oh, Carlo Ancelotti got to Everton, and we got like Arteta, but we are like, if we win, we go above them. I mean, they have a game in hand, but still we go above them based on goal difference. So
no, I'm expected to be like a victory for us. The reason being like we are bad, but Everton is even more bad than us.
Yeah.
See, they were good at the beginning because of James Rodriguez and other people. Like once that faded out, right? Like they are like a proper mid-table club like us.
But still, like there was too much talking about how Carlo Ancelotti was revolutionizing Everton, right?
Yeah, it was just like the first initial 10 games.
See, it is like our we always say, right? Trust the process. It is the same way.
Why not? Yeah. Give him one more season. Why not?
but we are still like with the horrible start to the season that we had. We are almost overtaking Everton, who were thought to be title challengers.
It's just like flip flop.
Yeah.
They have season, now they are like.
See, you should not forget we have given them people like IOB and everybody like whom they have to depend now because of injuries to other people.
So we are happy that we got money. So yeah, go ahead with your prediction, Aaron. The score prediction.
Score prediction, I'll say 2-1 with a mistake from us leading to our goal.
And who are you thinking would be the striker? Because Lacazette seemed injured. Do you think Eddie would be the striker for us?
I think Aubameyang might come as a sub.
But he's down with malaria, right? I don't think so.
No, he said like he's back, right? Like
no, he has not been back to. No, he's not.
No, then we don't have an option other than starting Nketiah. See, whatever like say Balogun or others do well, right? Like Nketiah is our third striker at the moment. Like if you're going to like bypass him and bring another player, right? That won't look good for a coach also. Like so, we will maybe start with Martinelli or Nketiah.
But still, you are sticking to your 2-1 with those two as our only options. Deepak, your take on the game?
1-1.
1-1. So you're not going for a win?
No. If there is no Lacazette, there is. I don't think.
I agree with Deepak on that, but like somewhere I feel like we might win it. As I said, like because of Everton.
Yeah, we might like nick it late, but late or like.
Yeah, but like if you're going to go with like proper prediction, it should be 1-1, like as he said. But I'll still stick to my 2-1. I'll still stick to my 2-1.
Okay, Deepak, you are going to stick to Xhaka being a left back.
So, I want him to play in the midfield because like if he's playing in the left back, there is no outlet for us on the left side. It is like. We can see our wingers like waiting for a left back to overlap them, but Xhaka is not even there.
but don't you guys think that it's a better option there than like now that our attack is coming from the right? Like it's more like a safety option having Xhaka there and not having any attacks.
The right side is like right.
Yeah, thereby reducing the mistakes.
But right side we have.
The problem is right side has Bellerin. He stops every single attack. That is the problem which I have.
Arun, your predictions.
2-1 loss.
2-1 loss. Oh my God. Why? You are still.
Every time I predict anything other than a 2-1 loss, we end up losing very badly. So I'm just going to go back to predicting 2-1 losses.
That is true. Actually, you predicted 2-0 win against Fulham, and that game we drew. And then you predicted a loss against the Slavia Prague game,
and we won. Yeah. And the same thing, I think the game before that too, I think in the PL, I thought we'd either draw or nick a win, but it ended up being a loss. So every time I predict a loss, we at least do decently. So.
Anti-jinxing it. Great. It's Arun, I'll hold you for Mourinho sacking because I didn't get your thoughts on that. Mourinho got sacked.
Oh, my thoughts on Mourinho getting sacked?
Yeah. See, that's one person who is as happy as me when I heard the news.
That is my answer to all those who wanted him to have take the position at our club. I wish you guys could see my face, honestly.
Absolutely fun. The only thing that I was mentioning earlier was that it happened during all the Super League drama, or else we would have had more fun with this. I have a couple of Spurs fans here at my gym, so I could have had more fun with them, except for the Super League drama. It's been a nice pod, guys.
Yeah, and they almost martyred him there.
Yeah.
He almost became a martyr for Tottenham in the ESL.
They made the story, and then suddenly, I think who came up with this with the clarification? I think was it Urbino? Urbino came up with the discussion, right? Like no, he was sacked for his performance.
It's because he's been shit that they've kicked him out, not because of the ESL.
Yeah, I was so happy. I was so happy with that news. Anyways, thank you guys for joining in today. It was a great pod. Meet you guys after the Everton game. Hopefully, a victory. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.